What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one, the only, Scott Savage. Scott, what's up, man?
Oh, I've been playing a lot of Bolt Gun last night, so I am of the Imperium of Man.
Oh, nice. There you go. What was I playing last night? More Planet of Lana, which is a fantastic game. My review actually, in fact, is live right now, Scott. So make sure you swing over to InsideTheGame.ca or YouTube, where you can go there at youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial. And you can also check us out while we're live right now and over on Twitch at the official ITG on Twitch. Dude, I nailed the intro.
I think that's right.
Just like that. I didn't goof it up finally on Twitch. But of course, if you can't join us when we're live, that means you should hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, the podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Yo, shout out to Fired Up Network. This is the newest network. You will be joining starting this Thursday. That's right. Tomorrow, you'll be able to download us, put us into your eardrum some more, as we'll be all over their podcast services and their networks. So check that out, Scott. We'll be...
My father was specifically asking about that. A little more of an audio format, so that's
there
good.
It is. Yep, absolutely. So definitely excited to join Joe and the team over there, Fired Up Network. And yeah, we always have lots to say. Just like today, as PSVR2 is off to a better start than we thought, Scott, apparently, as it surpasses the original PSVR. I'm like, all right, cool. This is a good sign. Good sign, man. This is great to hear. PlayStation is gearing up for a big push to cloud gaming. And Tears of the Kingdom is the 6th best selling Zelda game. No surprise.
The 6th?
Dude, it's not done. It's just started. Come on, man. Like, we're just getting started here with Zelda, right? Like, that's the biggest thing. Also,
That's
don't forget.
true. How long ago did that even launch? 12 days now?
Something like that. Yeah, like we're still so early on in the life cycle of Tears of the Kingdom that this is just the beginning. Like I would not worry about this whatsoever. It will surpass a bunch of stuff. I am sure of it. But just like that, dude, don't forget, we'll also be back here live at 4 p.m. Eastern today because why, Scott? That's right. It's the PlayStation Showcase we've all been waiting for. I cannot wait. I am pumped. I'm seeing people posting predictions. Brad hits us up in Discord this morning. What are your thoughts? Do they come out hot? Of course they come out hot. They're going to come out swinging, as I put it, because I think they're coming out with Spider-Man 2 to start off the showcase. But dude, let's get into it. I'm all geared up, ready to go. It's PSVR 2's early sales beat the original, Sony claims. This is Andy Robinson over at VGC. Dude, they're hot this morning, I gotta tell you. PlayStation VR2's early sales are ahead of what is PS4's powered predecessor managed. Sony has claimed. That's a weird way of putting that. Since it launched on February 22nd, there's been much speculation around how the next-gen headset has performed commercially. On Tuesday, Sony shared sales figures for the first time, revealing during a business webcast that PSVR 2 sold around 600,000 units during its first 6 weeks of availability. According to Sony, this was ahead of what the previous PSVR managed. According to sales graph shared during the call, PSVR's predecessor sold 8% fewer units during the first 6 weeks.
Okay.
Not bad. The figures suggest that previous analyst estimates, which had the new headset having sold around 270,000 units by the end of March, were somewhat behind actual figures. In March, Sony's executive deputy president and chief financial officer, Hiroki Totoki, said, dude, I love his name. I gotta be honest.
I love that name.
Guess me every time. He said he thinks the headset has a good chance of outselling the first PlayStation VR, which had sold 5 million units by the end of 2019. Bloomberg claimed earlier this year that Sony had previously aimed to ship 2 million PlayStation VR 2 units during the headset's launch quarter, and then had halved their projections to just 1 million in the first quarter. Scott, concerns about that at all?
Ouch. Yeah, that was a little bit of a lag in uptake, it seemed, but that
Yeah.
was due to, well, some hardware shortage was what was theorized, right? But
Absolutely.
we're much past that now, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sony denied Bloomberg's previous claims, but so far has reportedly declined to comment on Bloomberg's latest story. Yeah, well, wonder why that is. Scott, this is very exciting. For me, today is the day. It is the showcase. Show me what you got, PlayStation, because I need to know what I'm doing with my PSVR 2. Is it going on the shelf next to my PSVR 1? Or is it going on my eyeballs so I can see what we're playing next? And I don't...
The shelf behind you, is that where the real retirement shelf is?
No, those are my collectibles, dude.
Yeah, where's your Vita? Somewhere around there.
It's actually beside me. Speaking of collecting dust, the biggest thing is, man, I don't want to see another port, right? I don't want to see something that's over on the Quest or Steam VR. I want to see something that's fresh, new, and brand new, built from the ground up, and exciting to see for PSVR 2 and why we warrant the purchase of this device, right? Like, what does the future hold now for PSVR 2? Will it withstand a couple years, or are we gonna shelf it in the first year? I think that's the biggest concern moving forward for a lot of us, right? Dude, I was just talking to somebody 2 days ago, and we're talking games, and he's like, yeah, I'm a PS5 gamer. Should I get a PSVR 2? And I said, no. Straight up, I said no. I would hold off right now. We need to know what the future looks like. Yeah, they got 100 games in development. That's great. By who? Right?
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Go ahead.
The original DS could have boasted the same thing, but it was a lot of shovelware and things that didn't really hold up.
Like, some of the games we already have there are fantastic. I said, dude, if you're looking to get into VR, there's 40 games already on the platform, if you haven't played 90% of them already on something else.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what it really comes down to. A lot of the games that came over to PSVR 2 were already on something else, on another platform. So what's the necessity of buying this unit when it's already there on something else?
Even Half-Life Alyx, they'd pull that over, they would still be a port at that point, and it's several years old now. Is that enough? And I think I agree with you. I don't believe that's really enough. I think they have to have something to stand on their own, or a good enough look into the future. Because otherwise, what's stopping me from getting an Oculus, a Quest, a Meta?
Well, and the other side of it too is that the new Quest, the Quest Pro, is wireless, right? PSVR
That's
2
right.
is tethered to your console, which, granted, they did amazingly well considering it's only one cable, but it also houses
Yeah,
the
no
power.
towers.
Yeah, no, oh my, the spaghetti of
Yeah,
wires that came out
we'll
for
never
that.
do that again.
No, absolutely. At this point, right? I'm looking for PSVR 3. If we ever get to that stage, to be completely wireless and still house the power where we're at right now with PSVR 2 and more, obviously, right? But it showcases the difference. Now, right now on the team, it's me and Steve doing a lot of the reviews for VR, and Steve's over on the Quest, and so am I sometimes. But the other times, if we're able to, we'll actually compare the two, right? We'll get a particular game. What did we play recently? Creed. That's what it was. The boxing game Creed, right? He had it on
That's right.
Quest. I had it on PSVR 2, and I'm telling you, it was night and day difference between his performance and my performance because the Quest is starting to show its age. Right? The Quest 2. Steve was on the Quest 2, not just the Quest, but the Quest 2. So there's an age gap starting to be there. But there's more power on the PlayStation side of it, right? Because you are tethered. Quest 2, not tethered. So you're losing some of that power, that horsepower that comes behind it, being tethered into a platform. You can then tap into your computer if you wanted to, but the whole selling feature really for the Quest 2 is that it's wireless. And that's the big get.
Is there a PlayStation, like I'm thinking of VR chat on Steam? Is there like a PlayStation equivalent of that where you can just hang out different venues? I see a lot of comedy clubs pop up.
Really? Eh? I haven't really looked into it. I'm there to game.
Homes,
hang out.
PlayStation Homes needs to
PlayStation
come
Home.
back in a big way.
Yeah, we don't need what Facebook is doing and what are their platform called? Their chat room. And it's just like a me in VR. Like it's just
That's their metaverse, I believe.
It is, and nobody wants that because it's ugly. So
yeah, it was Nintendo Wii characters hopping around.
Man, nobody wants
what
that.
it could be is still amazing, but it's just not there.
Yeah, exactly, right? But now we want to see. Here's the thing: Skydance working on Behemoth for PSVR 2, built from the ground up. I'm hoping to see that today. I think this game is going to look cool. I think I'm very excited to get in on it and hopefully have an experience like nothing else. Because when you jump from the controller and a flat screen, Scott, as well as you know this, right? Then you jump into VR. This is a completely different experience. And I want to have that experience. Do you remember the first time you guys came over? I'm like, yo, you guys got to try this in VR. And you're like, whoa. I'm like, that's why VR
I'm not going to forget.
Level, right?
I can't remember the name of that. It was a mech arena fighter. Remind me if you remember, but a mech arena fighter game, and it was piloting a Gundam as I'm flying around shooting at stuff. It was exactly what I wanted to do since I was 10 years old.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's made by Gorilla, actually, funny enough, right? Who made Horizon Call of the Mountain. And they had help with Firewalk Studios, I think it was, or Fire Sprite. It's one of the two.
I'm a little nervous, though.
But
I'm a little nervous to PlayStation VR 2 and things we might see today. Are we going to see some of these old IPs come back, but in a gimmicky way?
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, what's up?
I saw some Resistance images have been shared in the last few days, and I'm suspicious that it's a bit of a hype swell to some sort of announcement, but that's just really wishful thinking at this point. I have no information.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? But that's what I said. When it's something from the ground up, I want to see why I need to justify the PSVR 2 and why I want to back this thing, why I want to be involved in this community and stick around. I already love my PlayStation. Dude, my PS5 is amazing. Then give me that same feeling when I talk about PSVR 2, because as of right now, I don't have that feeling, right? I'm on the lower end of this scale. So I'm hoping today we see a bit of that. I don't take up the whole showcase, right? Don't even take up half the showcase. Take up 15 minutes. Give me 15 solid minutes of PSVR 2 and why that's important. Or scatter that throughout the showcase, because you're going to lose some people who don't have PSVR 2 or don't care about VR at all. Right?
Yeah, that's true. So the pacing is going to be interesting to see.
Oh, it's going to be so interesting, dude. I can't. Yeah, I'm so excited for this today. But I want to get into the next one because we're still continuing on with PlayStation, as PlayStation says it will soon reveal aggressive plans for cloud gaming. Jim Ryan teases interesting take on the feature. Man, this is where
Could this take a lot of the time today?
I hope no. I don't think we see really anything today on cloud gaming per se. More on what we're getting right now. Honestly, at the showcase, we have Spider-Man 2. Besides that, we know a couple other things are being developed, but we really don't know solid, concrete information. Right? Yeah, Wolverine's in development. Bungie's working
solid
on
is the solid is the operant word there.
We'll see if Solid Snake shows up. There's a lot of stuff kind of in question, right? In flux. What's going on? What does the future look like for PlayStation? So there's a lot of questions I'm hoping we see answers for today at 4 o'clock when we're live. So make sure you join us. This is Andy Robinson over at VGC. Sony Interactive Entertainment says that it has, quote, aggressive plans, end quote, for the cloud gaming space, which it will reveal in the next few months, Scott. Not today. This is where they're going to stay away from it today. For the next few months, this is when we certainly got into. I can't wait. No, Beats. I can't wait for Wolverine either. But I think we got another 2 years at least before we get that. When we get into what they're building now for cloud gaming, this is why we got into this new PlayStation structure tiered system. Right? We got 3 different tiers now. Confusing as all can be when it came down to launching it, and I'm still a little okay. What tier? Let me just buy the highest one, and then I'm just there, right? That way I have it, I have access to what I need, and then I'm good to go. But that's according to the CEO, Jim Ryan, who claimed during a business call on Tuesday that the PlayStation firm would reveal its plans over the course of the coming months without elaborating further. We observe mobility and gaming habits to be an increasingly important trend, and the cloud will be fundamental to allowing us, or indeed anyone else, to exploit that trend, he said. Scott, a little jab there by chance?
I'm wondering if the over the course of the next few months is a timeline that includes the CMA result.
No, but yeah, that's yeah. Ultimately, today is not the place for me to disclose these plans, but we do have some fairly interesting and quite aggressive plans to accelerate our initiatives in the space of the cloud that will unfold over the course of the coming months. Very interesting to see where Jim is going to take this and the team over at PlayStation. The cloud is something that is up and coming, right? Everybody's starting to get a bit more aggressive when it comes to the internet and their speeds and things like that. But you do have to have that high speed in order to tap into the cloud to be able to go and play wherever you want. The other side of it too is that 5G is starting to become a thing. We're waiting to get into that 6G range or whatever's next to allow us just to then pick up on your phone and away you go. We just got the backbone announcement for Android phones, so it was only for Apple at one point for iPhone. So now we're getting into the other side of it too. So PlayStation's coming around, Scott. Cloud gaming is definitely looking to be the future, right? Stadia, just a little too late.
Yeah, a little too late. I'm wondering if this is PlayStation kind of skipping over the Game Pass kind of model and trying to jump ahead to get on a cloud service, which makes a lot of sense because as the war already been lost in the terms of Game Pass. I don't know if anybody will ever beat that, but it makes me wonder, is this going to angle into something like Keystone, what we see on the Xbox side?
It is interesting, right? The cloud is where I think Sony's gearing towards to go next. Game Pass has obviously been dominated by Xbox. Xbox is in part of the cloud service as well. You see that branch out for them really, really successfully, allowing them to just kind of go play wherever you want. Where PlayStation's always been focused to go, here's your PS5 or here's your PS4, right? This is you stay here. Don't move, stay here. And this is kind of where they're starting to go. We're going to lose here if we don't start captivating on the cloud. This is when we get into the CMA whole discussion, Scott, with the UK regulators and all this stuff when it comes to Xbox trying to buy Activision, Blizzard, right? And their stance over there was the fact that they're going to dominate the cloud. Well, now we're starting to see Sony going, we have aggressive stances here, and here we come. I'm like, well, like, where's the balance
They have
here?
to, on one hand, they have to because they have to oppose and match what Xbox is doing. But on the other hand, well, is it gonna win them the CMA decision or not?
Yeah, everybody's kind of holding back, waiting to see where that lands, and then kind of like we've also heard rumblings right now of PlayStation making acquisitions left, right, and center, and deals are in discussions, but they're holding back on these deals so they don't come across as they're starting to dominate with some of these studios because Xbox is in discussion, right? So they don't want to give them any more ammunition to deal with. Going, well, Sony just bought this one and that studio and this studio and that studio and that studio, right? they're holding back now as well from the rumblings that I've heard internally. But also, you just saw Logitech last year come out with the G Cloud unit as well, right? Another streaming platform allow you to use the cloud. No longer do you need to be worried about where you are as long as you have a proper connection. I was talking to Ryan over at Logitech. He says, man, when we showcased this, we were in a hotel and we were playing Halo Master Chief Collection on it. From the hotel internet, right? Which is never a good internet, but it was enough for them to play. No. Yo, what's up, Northern? Just popping in to say hi. See you at 4 p.m. You're right about that, my friend. We will be there. But yeah, lots of discussion coming up. Curious to see where PlayStation is going to take this one step further when it comes to the cloud. What service do they offer already, right? When they have this 3-tier PlayStation Plus, when you go to the premium, you get access to the cloud gaming, streaming, all that, those kind of features. And then obviously a bit more being at the top tier. But it is curious to see and watch as they kind of grow.
It's really funny to me how each company kind of pulls the other ones in different directions. You have Nintendo that came out with the Switch and really popularized mobile gaming.
Yeah.
And then you have Xbox leading into cloud service. Well, that's brought PlayStation now to cloud. So they're all kind of working off of each other. And I'm really excited to see what comes up next console generation.
Absolutely. But what's coming up right now is Tears of the Kingdom is now the UK's 6th best-selling Zelda game of all time. Tom Ivan over at VGC. Scott, I think we've had 3 stories so far. This is our 3rd story of the day. Man, sometimes I love it.
There's a lot of excitement, Sony excitement in the room.
Oh yeah, today's a hot day for Sony for sure. We'll see how it goes. But The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, never heard of it, has become the UK's 6th best-selling box Zelda game after just 2 weeks. Scott, according to GamesIndustry.biz, physical sales of the game have now overtaken those of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for Switch and Ocarina of Time 3DS for the 3DS. After enjoying the biggest box launch of the year, sales were down 73% in the game's second week, but Tears of the Kingdom still topped the latest software chart ahead of FIFA 23 and Hogwarts Legacy. Scott, Lego 2K Drive, though, shout out to that one, was the only new chart entry at number 7, one place ahead of Tears of the Kingdom's predecessor, Breath of the Wild.
I've seen a lot of kind of feedback given on the UK sales.
Okay.
And how the physical sales are really hard to gauge, but that's the only one they do gauge. So I'm not saying I doubt these numbers entirely, but there's a bit of a deeper learning required there.
No, I'd love to get like US sales and then digital sales, because often we don't get access. It's the digital sales. Dude, I don't remember last time I actually purchased a disc. Yeah, go away, Brad. It's one of those things, right? Brad's such a physical lover, which is fine.
On the Switch.
But, it
was Link's Awakening. That's what it was. That was the last one I bought.
Gotcha. There you go. But yeah, over the UK box chart for the week ending of May 20th, number 1 was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, then FIFA 23, Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Who doesn't own this already? It's kind of, dude, I'm looking for like, where's GTA? But apparently it's not on the list.
I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been on there for more than a year.
Pokemon Scarlet, Lego 2K Drive, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I guarantee you, people are like, oh, I better play this before we get Tears of the Kingdom. So that's why you saw the sudden rise of that one come in, right? At number 8. Animal Crossing, New Horizons was number 9. And wrapping up number 10, Scott, it's Dead Island 2.
Oh, I still haven't got to that one. That's on my backlog somewhere. That's some year I will play that.
How's your Tears of the Kingdom adventure going?
Oh, I'm heading out towards Zora's Domain, I think. Zora's has to be the easterly section, and the path along the river is a lot longer than I expected. And I lost a horse along the way, so it's been a bit of a rough trip so far. Next time I'm taking the airplane.
Fair. Oh yeah, there you go. I still have a lot to go. I'm having a good time, but there's moments I'm like, why is this still like this? Why is this like that? Why does Link still not say a word? Why do that's
funny.
Half of
I can confirm he does speak. So there's a few times early on. Zelda goes, "Are you okay?" And he just stares. Awkward Children of the Corn stare. But later on, somebody asked him, "Hey, what happened over here?" Oh, and they respond as if he gave an answer. So Link does speak.
Does not
he
speak.
just does not have a voice.
No, he doesn't speak. Dude doesn't say a word. It drives me insane. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot to say. We're working on our review right now. Obviously, the game is rather large, so we do have a lot to cover for it. So we will be getting into it. Hopefully next week is the game plan, but we're kind of wrapped up over here doing a lot of things. But Scott, well, we're not doing those Destiny because that is so far gone for me, dude. As much as I want to get into it, Destiny 2 reveals God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and Horizon outfits for the new season. This is the benefits of Bungie now being a part of the PlayStation ecosystem, right? That they can tap into. Granted, they could have made a deal a long time ago and done this anyways, but this is kind of one of those that step in the other direction, going, hey, we're part of this family. Why don't we pull in some of these cool ideas and make these outfits for...
There's no Jedi Survivor mention on this, but I wish I could be, a Jedi in Destiny. That would be the right angle for me.
There you go. Anthony Wood over at IGN had this to say, PlayStation and Bungie are bringing new armor, cosmetics, and content to Destiny 2 Season of the Deep, which launched earlier yesterday. The content, which is available on all platforms. That's the other side of it too, Scott. Also, now you have Kratos outfit, Ghost of Tsushima, and Horizon over on Xbox. Was inspired
for the moment. That's as close as you can get.
Was inspired by some of the company's most popular IP, including The Last of Us, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and Horizon franchise. Yeah, this is cool. I saw some of the outfits. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. I can see that. Like, if I was a big fan, I definitely pick those up, especially on the PlayStation side. That's where you're playing it. I know my buddy Matt Leviton is a huge fan of Destiny, so we'll see if he gets these. I'll have to hit him up and ask him.
I think if you're in Destiny still, or at least now, you have to be a ginormous fan.
Oh man, absolutely.
It's just so big, as we mention all the time. It's just so big to try and get in, unless you already know what's going on. But does the story even make any sense? Are we the darkness yet? That's my only question.
Yeah, I have no idea, but we do have
answers. That's my guess. We've been the bad guy the whole time, I bet you.
I have no idea, man. I'm so far gone from that story now. If you didn't stay with it, right, you're out, and it's hard to catch up. I've listened to other podcasts going, can you jump back in? And like, nope.
I think you need to listen to podcasts, get somebody to explain it to you that way. I think that's probably the best way.
Scott, why don't you explain to us what games are out today? What do we have?
We have Last Labyrinth on the Nintendo Switch, and we have Kingdom Rush Origins on the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One X and S.
Well, and there you go. There's two games.
A bit of a light day compared to yesterday.
Oh man, yesterday was a beast of a day, that's for sure. But just like that, Scott, that's gonna wrap up today's show. Don't forget, we will be back 4 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing the live reaction to the PlayStation Showcase. Obviously, I can't wait. But until then, you're going to have to wait to see our pretty faces once more. Until tomorrow, everybody, if you don't join us later, hit us up, InsideTheGame.ca, and of course, those podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you tomorrow inside the game.